What's up, everybody? We're back. One Piece 1159. I'm excited for this one. I've been seeing a lot of people hyping it up. So, I mean, this has just been banger after banger, so I feel like it's, you know, as we just continue to get to, you know, a crescendo and a climax here, it's just gonna help put a lot of other things into perspective. So, let's see. Even D. Joel in the chat saying crazy chapter in front of you today. All right. Stocks are up. Well, we'll see what stocks we're talking about. Let's like the stream, guys.
What's up, y'all? You know what time it is. It's about to be that time.
This one's juicy. All right, I'm pulling up the chapter here. Is the title of the chapter gonna spoil me? EJ said, I will say this, you will be using your DJ Khaled meme a lot today. Alright, well, I'll keep my finger on the trigger. No title spoiler, okay. Let's see. Chapter 1159, The Island of Fate. Ogre Child Yamato's Golden Harvest, Surrogate Pilgrimage, Volume 41, Time to Munch on Apples and Return to the Flower Capital. I hope those are real apples. I mean, they all have devil fruit, so it shouldn't matter anyway. Alright. So let's review some things that I want to continue seeing in this flashback. Because if you're saying that I'm gonna hit the Khaled button, then let's see. My biggest agenda is that Rox isn't necessarily a bad guy or an evil guy and knows more about the world than what the propaganda will allow. That's been holding pretty true throughout the flashback, so we'll see if that continues. We know that he gets betrayed. I think he gets betrayed from within Rox, and I don't think that it's going to be Shaky or Whitebeard that actually do the betrayal. Just a headcanon thing, and you know, I feel like it's going to be 7 people specifically on the Rox Pirates, and I want them to become the first warlords. And I want it to tie into like the idea of the squad situation in Marineford. And while we're at it, I mean, it wouldn't be bad as we're like learning more about Roger to just get like some context eventually on the squad situation, like why he was, you know, like we know why he was mad at Roger, but to actually like see it. And then we were talking about it last week, like if Moria is like magically shows up as a 12-year-old in this flashback to tie into the fact that, you know, he was in the cover story here, could help some things. And Oda's been doing that as like the same chapter that Pudding was kidnapped by Kuzan and Van Augur, was the same chapter, or the next chapter was when Pudding was revealed to, you know, be with Blackbeard anyway. So Oda's been tying the cover story into the present story a lot. We'll see if that happens. And then What are some of the other things? I don't know. We'll just read and we'll see. And then I'll remember if something I said or not. Alright. Pirate Island full of lead 39 years ago. Did you look everywhere? Don Marlin was on last night's security team. They've all been killed. So even Don Marlin couldn't keep her sit. Oh my god, Don Marlin got it? Right off. Wow. Or is this a scheme? I wanted Don Marlin to be someone tied to Crocodile eventually. Oh well. Shout out to Barry in the chat. Hope Iceland was fun. See Chin, Brandon, Ty. It's good, man. Luke. See everybody. Alright. It's unthinkable who could have done this. What'd you say? Huh? Shaky's been kidnapped. Okay. This was telegraphed. I'm not going to sit here and hit the DJ Khaled for this. We knew she was going to be kidnapped. All right. Crime happened within a window of just a few hours. Now, here's Wang Zhe. Now, I feel like I've been saying that he is going to be like the biggest perpetrator of this. And if this is, you know, what's going to show that he's taking a government deal to tie into the actual folklore of Wang Zhe, then that's a Khaled moment. But anyway, let's see. But without any clues to solve the mystery, the pirates could only wail and gnash their teeth in anger. Please be safe, Shaky, please. And we see him counting money here, so I feel like he's definitely responsible for this. Damn it, Rox, what are you doing over there? I'll tear you to pieces. I'm trying to look at this newspaper to see if there's anything cool on it. You know, I'm not really seeing anything, though. Symbol of a skull. Some sort of a ship on the bottom left, but I can't really make out what that's supposed to be. The news swiftly crossed the seas. Okay, Rayleigh's sweating. We've got Shaky's wanted poster here. Or her official government image, anyway. Kuja Pirate Empress. Smiles vanished from the faces of all the crestfallen people, and it was said that all economic activity around the world went stagnant for weeks. That's wild. Be the GDP of multiple nations. Alright, 1 year later, God Valley West Blue. We're here, baby. We made it. God Valley. Oh, Garling, I'm so happy to see you. I always believed you would come back. Shamrock, Shanks, it's your father. Alright, so we were talking about last week that this whole game was orchestrated by Garling here, probably so that he could legitimize his children. Let's see. You had twins. They're adorable. Yes, and they're yours. Now you can live here with me. Oh, if they're living anywhere, it won't be here. This island will cease to exist soon. Oh my god. Alright. And I've already special ordered a wife who is befitting of me. All I have to do to make her mine is win this competition. Oh, he wanted Shaky too? Damn. For a second there, I thought I was going to scroll down and I was going to see Odo reprise the Kuma beat where Clap's blood went on his face. I thought we were going to see the two twins with their mom's blood on their faces. Oda chose Mercy this week. It's wild. We don't even see her face. Didn't even see her face. Oda's a villain for that. He should have shown her face. Savage. All right. Begin the preparations. Yes, sir. Disembarking now. AJ 1218, member for 52 months. Said, typical celestial dragon parent. Skip the divorce, go straight for the death do us part. Classic celestial move. Lawyers are the real devils. The world government's navy ships are here? Yes, they got the whole island surrounded. Is there some wanted criminal on the island? Bring the children indoors. Use only tranquilizer rounds. Apprehend those who do not resist. That's wild. Apprehend those who do not resist. The dragon! Ooh, baby. They said it couldn't be. They said it could not be. Said he was probably at God Valley. That everything that happened there inspired everything that he's doing now. But then there was some sort of an SBS that implied that he was not a Marine. But why wouldn't he be? He's 17 years old here. He should be a rookie Marine. This is the perfect place to do it. This is going to be good. And I will take this.
Another one. Another one.
Lieutenant Commander, what is the purpose of this operation? It's training, and you're in no position to ask questions, Rook. But sir, platoon leader, what's this kid's problem? Sorry, sir, I'll give him a talking to. Oh, you there. What's happening? Don't resist. Just stay put. Are the Marines shooting people here too? Run for it. They're arresting everyone. They look just like normal civilians to me. Stop thinking. Individual thoughts only distract from the will of the group. Focus on completing the mission. Very 1984. Ugh. It's fine. They're tranquilizer rounds. I'm not killing anyone. Sorry about this. If you allow us to arrest you, I won't have to shoot. Navy sailor, Monkey D. Dragon, future Revolutionary Army commander, and father of Luffy. confirmed at God Valley.
なんというビッグニュース
It's about to get spicy. I don't know what's going on here, but I'm leaving the island out of the way. Shoomp, shoomp. Oh, put on your masks. We're using tear gas. Okay, next page. Navy prison ship carrying slaves. It's just like, why would you do the math so that he could be old enough to be a Marine during God Valley and then not do it? So I'm glad that that happened. Beep, 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 boop. Communications room. Did I just hear someone? Okay, so that's Ginny doing the communications. Hey bro, Ginny, you're alright. Yeah, it all worked out. The intel should come by. The intel agent should come by to get us later. Kids, shut up. Don't ruin things for the rest of us. You're gonna get us all punished too. Punished? You fool. We're all going to die. If you don't try to learn where this ship is going, and you don't even struggle to survive, what makes you think you'd be lucky enough to make it out? Don't play games with miracles. Hang on, bro. Prisoners are rioting. I didn't know that slaves could be so feisty. Got Kuma. Cypherpole Intelligence Agency. Oh yeah, you heard some incredible intel? What is it this time? Don't play dumb. I know you people picked it up too. Pay me. You want me to sit on this scoop, don't you?
なんというビッグニュース
How does some kid's local paper with a fancy name get an intel network like that? Careful or they'll snuff you out. Just try it. Either way, I'm leaking this to Pirate Island. Morgan's president of the World Economic Journal. Love it. Big news. Big news. It's also crazy to think that Big News is, you know, partially responsible for whatever goes down too, because he's the one leaking it to Pirate Island. Next page. So Shacky's still alive? Are you serious? Where's she now? What a relief. God Valley, where's that? That seems fishy. You sure about the source? Oh, look at this. Like, Oda's telegraphing this hard. Like, I knew that Wong Shi was, you know, Wong Shi was going to be the traitor and everything, but to just telegraph it like this is wild. Anyway, Navy's been taking action, so it seems solid. She's a prize in the Celestial Dragon's game? So that means whoever kidnapped her was with the government. Shaky. How did they get there so fast? It's the Celestial Dragon's manhunt. I always thought that was just a tall tale. You got devil fruits too, Kaido. You wanted one, didn't you? What powers are they? Could be good for my kids too. Oh, that's crazy if she gets some of like a bag of devil fruits, and that's why like all of her kids have fruits, because she actually did walk away with a bunch of the fruits. Sure it's not a trap? Shut up. Not committed, stay here. The rest of us are going to God Valley. Roger, Pirates. Hey, Gabon, where's God Valley? Not close, but I'll make sure we're there in time. Going, right, boys? No question. Yeah, Ray's gotta get his girl. So Rox is on the move. Don't let him get the jump on us. Took just the tiniest bit of classified intel to set off all the furious warriors of the sea. Fiercest warriors of the sea. We didn't think Roger would get involved. Lead with that next time I'm going. Okay, so that's what we saw in 1096. Next page. It's a giant ship. Who cares? Sink him. No, wait. What is it, Rox? Don't slow us down. I was told to stop a certain pirate crew that was infatuated with a single woman, Rox. If we make use of our strength, it would be child's play to sink your tiny ship. See that boat in the distance? We've got government monitors. Harold sucks. And you think this is winning you points with the world government? Don't underestimate what we can do, King of the Giant Oaks. Does it please you to serve the government that sits on its comfortable perch and watches us destroy one another? I suppose it does, because you're the madman who wants to change Elbaf no matter what. Now, can we talk in private? I'm sure you've heard where we're going and why. Well, I'm only going to tell this next part to you. It's not even for my own crew to hear. What is His Majesty talking about? La-di-da. He's having a toast. While beloved Shaky is waiting to come. Truth is, I've got a hidden name. AVD
なんというビッグニュース
Davy Zebek fights. That's telephone, baby. Davy Zebek fight. People thought it was a game. It was a game. It's not a game.
You loyal.
This is real life. DJBS, member for 50 months. Keep up the great work, Captain. Appreciate you. People saying that? Or are the streets talking about how this is Davy Beck fights? Is there anything with the kanji of like Davy Back fight and Davy D Zebek, like that, you know, kind of like the Koski Moria thing from last week? Brandon said no one made that conclusion, ironically. No one has said Davy Zebek fights? Well, then you heard it here first, people.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Bazoo Cap said, I can confirm. I watched Tekking, Roger Base, Grand Line Review, and all the others nobody mentioned. Saeed in the chat, because I'm gonna need the kanji or katakana breakdown here. A lot of my I've got a bunch of theories that revolve around the idea of telephone. The idea that a word or a phrase or something gets manipulated and changed over centuries, because that's real life. That's real world. You know? Shout out to Damien's big news. This is big news. You know, the idea that 400 years ago the Shandians are worshipping a giant blue snake, right? And then Kaido thinks he is Joy Boy, right? And his devil fruit turned him into essentially a giant blue snake, right? So it's like, that's telephone, if that's connected. If you start out 800 years ago saying Davy D. Zebek, but then eventually, you know, like 400 years later, someone's just saying Davy back. I don't know. It feels like it's on purpose. Jebin said, sadly, they're different. Davy back fights are Davy back, but Zebek's full name is... So let's see. I mean, there are some similar characters there, but maybe that's just the Davy part that I'm looking at. Zebek is a back. Yeah, we're gonna. So what's gonna happen is we're gonna get the fourth name reveal. So I've got a secret hidden name. My name is Zebak. Alright, so anyway. I've got a hidden name. Davy D's back. It's not rocks. It's the name of a clan that I suspect the world government has long tried to cover up. Is Oda just saying that D is Davy? Because I thought we got confirmation from the mural that it was the Half Moon people. Or at least soft confirmation. Would make him Davy Davy. Yeah, I know. Let me just keep reading. Because I want the D to be either a smile or a half moon, crescent moon. Like, I want it to be a hieroglyph, not actually a letter. I don't want it to mean anything. Alright, anyway. It's the name of a clan that I suspect the world government has long tried to cover. Descendants of the legendary pirate, Davy D. Jones. Alright, so Davy Jones had the D, so it's fine. Seal Vladimir Vici Super said Davy's back equal Davy's back. That's what I just went on a long rant about that. And I am with you. He took root in the criminal underworld and continued to eke out a living even today. This is a crazy panel.
It's about to get spicy.
Next position. My timing was either great or terrible. You see, 2 years ago I had a kid. To make sure that danger couldn't befall them both, I sent my wife and child to my homeland, told them to seek the Davy clan for help. See, so your kin and your wife and child are there in your homeland. And why would you admit this exploitable weakness to me? My home is God Valley. Pack it up, guys. Rox is not a bad guy. I've been saying this for years. This man was protecting his home. He was protecting his woman. He was protecting his son. Rox is that guy. Rox did nothing wrong. He did nothing wrong. People wanted to challenge me. Say that the Sengoku propaganda was... It had to be true, right? Because why else would all of this be happening? Why would we believe Sengoku? Why would we? Why would we believe him? But it was there in our faces the entire time, and I kept making this point. Like, why is Whitebeard, who we know is a good person, why is he on the crew of this man? Why does he stay? Now, of course, he picked up a lot of his team from a Davy Zebek fight. But regardless, Rox is that guy. I'm sorry. I don't know. I can't say the same for his son. His son has done some questionable things. But at the same time, the world has done some questionable things to this man's son. So I don't know. Is he justified? I don't know. Who are we supposed to root for? Muddying things up. This is why Oda's the GOAT. This is why he's the GOAT. Who's the main character of the story? Is it Luffy? Because maybe it's not. Oh man. Shout out to my guy Ty. Heel Ty Zoro in the chat. Another one.
Another one. Another one. And another one.
Free Rocks. What's up, Savage Crew? W's in the chat for Ty.
Savage.
I'm about to make a name for myself here.
So the government did this as a means to lure you into their clutches. Nah, the celestial dragons are converging on that island. They don't want me coming there. That was a miscalculation on their part. Evo, Super said, facts. It feels weird still calling him Rocks when he was always back, and now he's not even Rocks, he's Davey. Feels as though some great act of fate is pulling all the strings behind the scenes. Kidnapping Shaky was their fatal mistake. As long as my wife and kid escape, I don't care about the rest. Whoever's side fortune is on, Harold, it doesn't feel like mine, so lend me your aid. I refuse. I'd rather sink your ship right now. That's your choice, so be it. Don't attack him. Though hard to believe, once every 3 years, the Celestial Dragons choose an island rich in resources, unaffiliated with the government, and carry out a manhunt game there, slaughtering all the natives. Soft coward. Somebody help, this can't be happening. Harold's ship on fire. In addition to the rare and exotic devil fruits, we have our grand prize of the event, hailing from the Isle of Women within the calm belt of the Grand Line, the previous Empress of the Amazons, praised as the most beautiful woman in the world, and her name is Shaky! And behind door number 2, a new car! The day of the God Valley incident. Take her for a wife or make her a slave, the decision is yours. Wow, she is so beautiful. I want her. She's perfect. We and then bring her into the Shepherd family summers. She was kept in pristine condition after being caught. Truly elite prize. Okay, we got a young Summers here. Don't be stupid. If I win, she's my slave. She's my wife. Stop dreaming, Summers. With you here, Gunko, we might win a trophy in the family competition. Okay, because we were told that Gunko's a Manmire. Interesting that they believe Gunko to be that reliable and effective. Crazy to believe that she gets out of all of this, ends up with Rayleigh, and Garling, like, didn't chase her down to the ends of the earth all these years. Let's see how we're ending this. Please, get my children off this island. Children? Don't let them have them. Come here, teach. It's alright. You have to live through this. That's crazy. What is so shisty for this? The sins of the father. Oh. how is Oda gonna make Luffy's dad responsible for his biggest op? Like, this is crazy. Lastly, every world noble is aware of them. In addition to the Buccaneer boy serving as a super rare rabbit in this contest, we have another target who's been found at long last after 800 years. The Davy clan! But who is Blackbeard's brother or sister? Wait, wasn't there an SBS saying that Blackbeard had sisters or something? Oh, Dragon saved Shanks and Shamrock. Oh. That's crazy. All right. It's still... The layers are still there. They're just different. Dragon is responsible for making his son a pirate because he saves the guy who inspires him to be a pirate. So you want to be a pirate? That's fine by me too. This is crazy. And there's no break. Full God Valley next week. Thought this day would never come, people. We're here. Treybird said, yeah, Dragon saved Luffy's dad. This is... In addition to the Buccaneer boy serving as a super rare rabbit in this contest, we have another target who's been found after long. I think we're gonna find out next week that there's more people here that are gonna be Davy than we expected. And we're going to have to look at that list of people that were alive during this time. I think there's going to be some surprises. Like, I almost feel more strongly now that Moria could be on God Valley. Not to say that he's a Davy clan, but I mean, hey, who knows? Mihawk was a kid at this time. Crocodile was a kid at this time. Of course, Kureha's been alive. Hiruluk. this chapter was crazy, and I'm already like thinking about what's gonna come next week. Growlsnog said we need a community reverie. It's been so long. They'll probably end up being one once this is over to talk about everything. Kaki09, remember 28 months, the chapter kept getting better and better. There were more than 6 treasure chests shown this time. Also, young dragon looks like bound man. That's, you know what? Yeah, with the circles around his eyes and everything, yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, I did notice that there were more chests this time. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 chests. Wait, no, 9. 9 chests. Okay. Let's see. There was a super chat right at the beginning of the stream. I didn't read because I wasn't sure if it was related to the chapter. Just KKII said, I like how Emu takes over people and doesn't hesitate. Glad it's not Faustian. Evil doesn't ask or reason. That's what's so scary about Emu. Thoughts? I think my thoughts are I want to get back to seeing exact, like, we need to get into the present before I have like a real formulated thought on everything with what's going on with Emu and then the all the reversey stuff, because I want to know what Oda's actually trying to say with it, and I think that's going to come from a little more context on Gunko, and more than anything, seeing if any of our crewmates get turned, because that's going to change the interpretation of it all and the messaging that Oda's trying to say. Especially if there's a thing where Luffy's able to reverse it back.
Savage.
Luck's Basement. Randy, out of all the new characters, whom are you most excited for fans to see how they're portrayed in Season 2? Vivi. Brandon King Supered said, monkey, dragons, fruit with emojis is in a chest. Then he puts Shanks in it. Oh, if he gets his fruit here? And then we get the dragon fruit reveal in God Valley? That's the way to do it. Kaze Kaze no Mi coming? Captain Buggy's gonna be on God Valley. Just wait, y'all. Ooh. Davy D. Buggy is definitely happening. And then that would explain why everybody's like all gung-ho about Buggy being, you know, related to Rocks, right? Well, if he's a Davy clan, then there you have it, right? Like, he could be Rocks' nephew or something. So, Kip's right on that one. Seal Vlad Ivanovici super and said, I can imagine when Garp arrives at God Valley, Dragon stares at him in disappointment, as if asking, are these the monsters who you fight for? Oh, like, I want to get into all of that. You know, like, I want to... We know that Garp doesn't like them, but, like, let's really... Let's get to the nitty-gritty of this. Like, why do you still serve them, though? You know, and have that speech about how he doesn't think that he can take them down, or like there's only a certain way to do it. Like, this needs to be the beginnings of a falling out here.
You loyal.
Jacob said Oda wanted to bamboozle us with the paneling, but yeah, different scenes. Yeah, I got bamboozled for a second, but it's okay. I went back and I got it all figured out. Shanks' mom, possibly Davy clan blood too. I mean, nothing's off the table if that's where the Davy clan was residing. Like, there has to be a lot of people there. We're gonna find out that there's a lot of Davies in this world. They wanted to eliminate all of them, and what they ended up doing was creating problems for the future. Saeed said the babies are not with her, they were Garling. She's just telling Dragon to save them. 1096, Garling says, watch this, children. True. We do know that. I do think that if we're getting this in the first place, that it does imply that Dragon will be instrumental in their in them being saved. So because otherwise it's a pointless scene. What it is foreshadowing that's Dragon's story. Over the next chapter, 2, 3 chapters or whatever, like his whole thing is like he's gonna be responsible for getting Shanks into that treasure chest, and what happens to Shanks after that with Roger and all that is gonna be completely unrelated, but he's gonna be the one that's gonna save them. Question then becomes what happens with Shamrock. Good point, Luke. Probably Dragon gets interrupted in the process, and unfortunately, like, he's only able to save one. But the one that he saves goes on to eventually inspire his child, you know? And then that makes me want a Dragon Shanks scene where they actually, like, talk, and Dragon puts it together and then realizes, like, you know, like, this is the string of fate, right? That Blackbeard is always talking about. He's always talking about fate, fate, fate. And it's like, what we're seeing here is fate in action.
Savage.
Like, all of these invisible strings that created everything that we're dealing with in the story now, that's what could be interpreted as fate. Adam has said, what if Foxy witnessed Rock's death like everyone saw Roger die? I love that. But Foxy, funny enough, wasn't alive during God Valley. I remember looking this up and then finding out that Foxy is actually younger than we think. I want to confirm that, but I feel like that was something that I looked up before. Yeah, he's 36, so he just missed it. We're not, I wish, but that's not to say that he's not Davy. At this point, everybody's Davy. Were they alive 38 years ago? They're Davy. Until next week, and then we find out they're not. Alejandro Salas, member for 27 months. Randy will sell me anything with his game show talk. BK with the puns. You know what this fight is, Randy? CDs, Celestial Dragons versus DVDs. DVDs. Wait till the Blu-rays show up in the final war. Just KKII. Did Garp fight make Titanic captains look foolish? We talking about when he was there at Pirate Island with Kuzan and everything? That's, you know, that's that delicate dance that Oda has to do with the story, you know, because it's like there's all these top tiers and you want to see them go off, but you don't want them to undermine future antagonists, and that's like the problem with showing the Blackbeard pirates. But I think that some of them have to seem a little unimpressive, you know, not to dunk on our crew, but some of the people on our crew are less impressive than others, and they're gonna have to have some people to fight and believably be able to beat them. So that's all I would say. And anybody who did look impressive, you know, that's Monster Trio activity. Crush said Foxy's 38. He's 38 now. Right? Wait. So I guess he could be born there. I was looking at his pre-time skip age.
Savage.
So I guess he could be Davy Clan, but he wouldn't witness anything here. K-Pro N, appreciate the super.
Woo, I'm about to make a name for myself here.
Said, I'm starting to think all these families and clans are just self-proclaimed. Like, in 800 years, are people going to say they were from the Striad clan? Which could be why Emu wipes them out, because they're coming together. I do feel like there is going to be an element of that. I feel like with... And we've talked about this too, and the idea that, like, everything is... you have the blood ties, but the ties that are stronger in One Piece are the Nakama, right? The found family, the friends you make along the way, the friends you consider family. So when they say a clan in the first place, usually in One Piece, like, think about some that we have, right? Sand clan in Alabasta. None of them are blood related that we know of. It's just a bunch of kids coming together and saying, hey, we're the Sands. I think it is like that. I think it's a bunch of unrelated people with the same goal that take up the same name. And years ago, you know, names were chosen, right? You got your name from what you were doing. The Smiths were the blacksmiths and all that kind of stuff. So it's like and this is more so for the D than the Davy, because maybe the Davies are blood, but like the D are that's something that, like, you put in your name because you're trying to show that, like, you're against what the world government is doing, whoever the world government was 800 years ago. So I think there is going to be some sort of an element of that. Aggie CEO Super said Dragon having the nightmare Luffy eyes is crazy. It's also the Bound Man eyes that was pointed out earlier. AJ1218 Super said correction was a lot of Davies in the world, but Dragon will meet Luffy's mom somewhere on the island. It might not be Crocodile, but at least a cousin. I mean, at this point, Luffy's mom is going to have to be a Davy. Otherwise, I'm going to think that Blackbeard is actually the necessary successor. Like, Blackbeard's got it all working out for him. But, that's another thing too, right? Is Oda's a fan of Dune, and Dune is a movie that it was a book with the goal of stripping down the idea of the chosen one, right? So it's like you're telling a chosen one story, Lisan al-Gaib and all that kind of stuff, but you're basically creating a story of everybody saying, hey, you're that guy, and then also trying to say, hey, you're not that guy. So Oda might be trying to flip all of this, where it's like Ace looked like he was that guy, right? He's Roger's son. He should be the Pirate King, right? Now we're hearing about Blackbeard. That was Rocks. He was Davy. He was Zebek. He was this. He was that. Like, it's all working out for him. He should be the Pirate King. And then we have Luffy, who's D, but other than that, nobody, I guess. And maybe that's what Oda wants to do. And it's like, well, he's the chosen one because he's not these things. Or we'll find out that Luffy is actually like this, that, this, and all of, like, he's going to be everything or nothing. Or everything and just D. Alejandro Salas supered and said, so what is Garling's plan with having kids with a non-CD? So he takes them to become holy knights? Why do they let commoners' blood into the celestial dragon system? I mean, we'll need an understanding of that. I mean, I could sit here and speculate on it, but it's like, I think it has to do with something about like legitimizing things. But it's also a way of saying, is it nature or nurture, right? Like, is it the fact that Shanks probably is a Davy, right? And he's got Davy blood that makes him oppress the government, or is it the fact that he wasn't nurtured in the Holy Land like Shamrock? Would Shanks have always rebelled against? Or if he went to the Holy Land, would he have just been like Shamrock? And I think like that's the kind of these are the kind of questions that Oda wants you to like think about, and that's what we're gonna end up learning more about. Brandon said, "You think it's possible Kuma saved Blackbeard? Hands of Liberation? Any thematics here? Could be peak. I mean, the first named attack that Blackbeard ever uses with his fruit is called Liberation, so." I wouldn't be surprised. Like the thing is, the way that I got excited about Dragon potentially saving Blackbeard, which may still happen, by the way. Like, that might still happen. He may unlock that cage. Blackbeard is like a plague on this planet at this point. He's angry. He's upset. He's misinterpreting what his father wanted for the world. And he's going about it the wrong way, but he's also winning a lot. He's a scourge. And it's like, whoever opens that cage is responsible. And that's the kind of like muddiness in the story that I love. I love that kind of stuff. I want to see who opens that cage. I want to see it. Get these likes up here. We've got a lot more people in this chat than we have likes.
Come with me if you want to live.
Savage.
K Pro N, appreciate the super. Said, can we talk about the fact that Whitebeard is really the one to be blamed because he fostered both of these sons? Yeah. And I think we talked about this a little bit last week. You know, this idea that Whitebeard takes him onto his crew, basically raises his friend's son, and then his friend's son kills him. And that's why I want, as we get into a little bit more with Blackbeard, I want to see that flipped. I want to see an element of that. You know? Like, there's a poetry if Whitebeard was partly responsible for what happened to Rocks, and then, like, he thinks he's atoning for it if he, like, raises his son, and then... But I also don't want that, because I feel like that's too easy. But there's a lot of factors to all of this, and Whitebeard is a part of it. I'll be right back, guys. Sure, peace. We're back. Luke said, speaking of fate, in trying to erase a Davy clan descendant, the world government created their own destruction. Radicalized dragon saves Shanks, gives us one Monkey D. Luffy. Yeah. All in one event. I just know that there's going to be some sort of like smoker element in Alabasta to God Valley, where obviously the rock stuff is propaganda, but even the story that's being told about everything is what I feel is also going to. There's going to be some propaganda there as well, where Roger may end up getting a bunch of he might end up getting notoriety that's falsely planted. AJ said Garling most likely scouted the island, impregnated the locals, and then decided divorce would be a real deal with the devil, so he decided to submit the island for a contest. It's the easiest way out of some spousal payments, so. Who can blame him? Dawn Knight said, I think Whitebeard may not have known that he was Rox's kid. I can't imagine that he didn't put that together. Like, he had to. Like, I know there's the scene where he learns from Ace that he was Roger's son and all that, and then he just shoots it off like, okay, whatever. I feel like Blackbeard looks so much like Rox that he had to. Even though Ace also looks like... I don't know. Catching up on shit.
Savage.
Catch you later, BK. Alejandro Salas said, let's not forget that Wong ruled over Pirate Island for about 40 years as a trader. Yeah. Which is what I've been saying. Right? He's working for the government. The real life Wong Zhi worked for the government. He's a pirate that worked for the government. So it's like, it's just, there was no way that that guy wasn't going to be the traitor. I've been saying that for a long time. But a lot in the past few weeks or months or whatever that we've been seeing him in this flashback. Guardian Trees. I think Zebek's wife dies, throwing him into a rage and making it possible to reverse him. So Garp and Roger have to fight him, maybe. There's definitely an opportunity for that to happen, and I think that we'll need something like that to happen to inform what's happening in the present, right? Because in the present, we're seeing the reversey stuff. It makes sense that Oda never showed us God Valley, because reversey is a huge part of it. He didn't want to reveal Emu's powers before showing Emu on Elbaf, before the Straw Hats see it for the first time. So he wanted the audience to experience it with the Straw Hats, not in the past. So yes, I do feel like, unfortunately, we will be seeing some sort of reversey element. And that's where it'll show that Rox was evil and all this stuff. But realistically, no, he wasn't.
You loyal.
Emil, member for 51 months. It's sad that we never got Kaido and Big Mom's take on Blackbeard. Yeah. I think there's still an opportunity for Big Mom, at least. I'd like somebody who was like a part of Rocks to have a conversation with Teach and like really break it down for him. Like, you are nothing like your dad. Jacob Spitting said maybe Oda was saving Rocky Port for after God Valley because we're not meant to get spoiled about Longju's portrayal. Yeah, exactly. So it's like if we had gotten Rocky Port earlier, we would have known that Longju was a part of Rocks, that he betrayed Rocks, that Blackbeard is Rocks' kid. Like, so unfortunately we couldn't get Rocky Port because it would have spoiled everything with God Valley. So yeah, that's exactly what Oda's line of thinking was on that. Guardian Tree said Caribou being Mr. 10 back on the table, backstab Blackbeard. If that happens, oh boy. Jacob said because Oda's highlighting Longju for a reason, we have to see his end, Blackbeard's revenge. Well, we also don't know if Longju was actually murdered by Teach. Probably was. There's also a chance that it wasn't. Seeing him in the present. But I like it better if he was killed and then like that kind of fuels Caribou. And then this whole thing about Caribou wanting to like find Teach and everything like that is a ploy. So when he's like crying to Augur and Devon, it's because he wants to backstab Zebek, the kid of Zebek, the man who toppled his father. You know, Caribou was supposed to inherit God Valley. Blackbeard took that man's home. That rate, he would have grown up on God Valley, probably. I mean, not God Valley, Pirate Island. Crushnot supered and said, how detailed a look at God Valley do you think we get? A couple weeks ago, we were saying 4 to 6 chapters until Back to the Present. So 2 to 4 left still. If Oda wraps everything up in 1 chapter next week, we are splitzing. I would love, for the hype that this has been, you know, over the past 5 years at this point, at least, I think. I'd like 4 chapters. But at least 3. Or 2.5 or something, you know, like 2.5 and then half of a chapter of like wrap up and then like another epilogue thing that goes back into Loki's perspective of it all or something. But even then, I still feel like we'd be speed blitzing some of it. I mean, even this chapter was long, it was dense, it was packed, it was full. 10 out of 10 chapter for sure. Joel, Randy, will Zebek just lose at the end like Odin did with Blackbeard in danger, or do you expect a traitor situation? Oh, Wong should totally set this all up. So he's going to be a traitor. There's an opportunity for some of the other Rocks members to turn on Rocks in the end also, especially if they get whispered in the ear by the world government. I want to see some sort of squad element where, you know, like the government made a bunch of promises to people and they took it. You know? Stussy. Longzhu. I feel like they could have been part of the original warlords, and just as like Kuma was experimented on, Stussy by being a warlord would have been experimented on, and that's what gave birth to her clone. Volkazar said, if we're mirroring Squad, it being Whitebeard is poetic. Yeah, I've acknowledged the poetry today, but I also feel like it would be a bit much, but it is something that like would inform Whitebeard for the rest of his like days, and like the movements that he makes, and like trying to atone and knowing that he did the wrong thing. So from that perspective, you know, like there is an interesting element to it. But at that point, then I'd want Whitebeard to have been a warlord at one point. But it would be cool if he was a warlord, and then as he got to know the government a little bit more or whatever, like he renounces his title, which would then make him find Ace interesting, and then it's a plot point between their relationship when Ace turns it down, because Whitebeard maybe was a warlord and then turned away from the government. So that would have, you know, in turn have made Ace interesting to Whitebeard. Or just because he knows that a bunch of the Rocks pirates became warlords, seeing a kid turn it down is interesting. I don't know. I want something to come from that. Grillo Head said, I'm still catching up, but Zebek would be Beku, Davy Back would be Baku. So it might be a stretch, not impossible, not automatic either. I still like the idea of Davy Zebek fight. Davy Zebek fight. I just want that to be the origin of it, but if it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. But I mean, when I say it to myself, it makes sense. Adam has said we're going to get an absolute banger of a chapter when they show Blackbeard telling Garp he knows everything and how he's a fake. Yeah, You know, the fact that Blackbeard has Garp right now, whatever Garp does in this is going to inform what's going to happen to Garp in the present too. And that's what I love also about all this. And I've said this in a couple of the past streams, but like when we come out of this flashback, like I don't even want to go back to Emu and everybody at Elbaf. I want to take like another 2-3 chapters, and I want you to tell me what's going on with that. I want to see Blackbeard at that point. I want to see the Cross Guild. Because it's all got to converge. So. Vishnu said, I still want to know how Loki knows all this stuff. Facts. I want someone to call him out. Just be like, how do you know all this? And he just doesn't answer. But at some point, I think an omniscient narrator took over. Of course I want to see a kid crocodile at God Valley, Chin. He's 8 years old, which is prime horrible flashback age in One Piece. Crush said, I don't think Rox will be betrayed. I think his crew will all be out for themselves, doing their own missions, and won't care about saving the Davies because there isn't a profit. That's a setup for what the Rox Pirates are. It really isn't betrayal. Maybe it's pedantic. To me, that is betrayal. Like, even if that ends up being the case, right? We know Big Mom is like going for the chests. We've seen that. Kaido gets his fruit. If they're all going and doing their own little side quests, they're not helping their boy, who they've been sailing with for years. And in turn, he dies. That's betrayal. At the end of the day, at that point, Rox would not have had what Luffy has, which is ride or dies. I do feel like Rox has to have a couple of ride or dies, though. And ironically, I think one of them is going to be Shaky, because he's the one who said that he's not the ride or die. He wouldn't hesitate to betray Rox. So that's the interesting thing for me there, is if he's the one that's like really this man's like right hand at the time of all the fighting. And then it would probably help the rivalry between Shaky and Roger, if that's the case too. Chin said, if this is where Roger met Rouge too, since she could be Shanks' mother's sister related. That's interesting. I like the idea that some of the Davies get out, spread across the world, and Roger ended up with one. Alejandro said the ride or dies should be all the ones that die and get turned into zombies. That's interesting too. Bro said, I see your point, but for me, betrayal requires an expectation that you will be there. I don't think Rocks Pirates have that. Neither does Blackbeard. Blackbeard definitely doesn't have it, but I like the idea if Rocks did. I don't know. We'll find out in the coming weeks, though. Take a look at this chapter again, see if there's anything else that I might have missed in the initial read. You guys start thinking about some other stuff that might be talked about this week. I saw at the beginning of the stream, I saw a lot of people saying that they couldn't survive spoilers this week. What was the big spoiler that everybody was getting spoiled on? Was it the Davy D. Zebek thing? Is that what was going around? Sakshi said yes. Crush Nut, do you think the Yamato cover story is over when they return to the capital? At this point, we're definitely getting to the end of it. And I think what I was just talking about before, where this flashback ends and we don't go right back to Elbaf, I think the cover story is going to tie into the present. So we'll get to the point in the cover story where the flashback has ended, and then Yamato is going to face a threat. Whether that's Blackbeard Pirates, Cross Guild, both, and then we're seeing, people there for Pluton. Yamato trying to defend the country in the actual main story. Math piece that can influence the next chapters. I don't know. I mean, 1,000 chapters ago, this is all the beginning of Alabasta. So, 1159 is I think it's the first chapter with Ace, or it's the chapter where Ace blows up. Yeah, it's the chapter where Ace leaves. 159 blows up the ship. Gives Luffy the Beaver card. 1160 is Spider's Cafe. 1,000 chapters beforehand. 160 is Spider's Cafe. I don't know. The next big piece of math piece that I am leaning towards right now is, I think it's chapter 190, somewhere around there. When Crocodile first mentions Pluton, I feel like we'll get something with Pluton 1,000 chapters after Pluton was first mentioned. It was 660, maybe 500 off. That is that's gonna be like probably like Punk Hazard. Interestingly enough, could be the first mention of the Rocky Port incident around then. I'm gonna look that up. Chapter 660, Trafalgar Law, Warlord of the Sea. Oh. Chapter 660 is when we see the Galley La clan frozen in ice. This is when Smoker is accosting Law at the door in Punk Hazard. But again, you know, the other thing that I've learned more about Math Piece is that it's become less about hitting these anniversaries of numbers, and more so Oda really likes echoing whatever he did on a particular issue. You know, like the example of the Gorosei got their names in the same issue, the same week of the same month, 21 years or something or whatever from the first panel that they were ever introduced in. But anyway, looking at the chapter here, okay, 39 years ago, Don Marlin got whacked trying to protect Shaky. Wong got a bunch of money for letting them get Shaky. Wong might have even been the one who killed Don Marlin. I still like it if Don Marlin ends up being like Crocodile's dad or something, or a relative, right? Because then Crocodile would want to take out Caribou or something. I don't know. But I guess not everybody needs to be related. I just want Crocodile to be involved in this because he's 8 years old. For a second there, I thought that was Roger in the corner of Shaky's wanted poster. But Roger doesn't have his mustache yet, right? This guy definitely has a mustache. But it's definitely giving Usopp vibes. Do we think this is Lodestar at the on the second page, like showing that they're on Lodestar? I feel like what we saw of Lodestar, the buildings looked like this, right? People talking about that? I don't know. That's my headcanon now. The second page of the chapter, after the panel of all the houses, I think that's saying that they're at Lodestar. Chin said, so introduction chapters are important hints. Yes, for sure. And off of that, let's say more in One Piece. Just for example, I'm just going to see, like, what issue was Moria introduced in? Moria was introduced in... Chapter 449. Chapter 449 was released in March. So it's not going to be a math piece if Moria shows up. More at the next page here. I'm still mad that Oda did not show Shanks' mom's face. But it is interesting that she didn't die from that attack. At least not immediately. So... maybe there's an opportunity to see her face. Maybe there's something about her face that's gonna make us think of something. I don't know. This man Garling mail ordered Shaky. But then still had to do this whole game to, like, seal the deal. But I wonder if this is also... like, I want to see how all of this ends up tying into the way that Hancock becomes a slave. Because I feel like it's got to be related to all of this. Love that the dragon is a marine on God Valley. That was one of my, like, top 3 things that I wanted out of God Valley, and I'm getting it. So it's just, it just makes so much sense. Like, the story is able to breathe because of this. Like, the God Valley flashback is also, like, the worst day of Dragon's life. It's the dragon flashback. Like, this is cool. This is cool. And then I feel like this prison ship that we're seeing is one of the more impressive Navy ships that we've ever seen. Marine ships, I mean. Like, I don't know if I don't remember seeing one that was like particularly shaded this way before. But I might just be misremembering, or I've been looking at the color manga for so many years that I've forgotten what the shading looked like when the chapters came out years ago. Love seeing Ginny, Ivankov, and Kuma again. Young Big News, fantastic. Still a little upset that Oda really telegraphed the Longzhi thing. That seems fishy. You sure about your source? You sure about that? I don't think we should go there, guys. That's gonna complicate the money that I just made. Stuff with Harold, which I have to say, finally a good scene with Harold. I also like this panel of rocks with the other emperors behind him. We got confirmation that Kyo is still there. I still feel like he's going to be a traitor also. And there's Gil Bastar. I missed that stuff because it's the same page as the Davy D. Zebek thing, so... So now we've got the secret name Davy. There's also the secret name Water, which, you know, we're going to need some clarification on that. Davy D. Jones. It would be nice if some of the people from Ohara are also Davies. And it's kind of crazy how so much of the important things in the story happen in the West Blue, right? Obviously Ohara and God Valley, both of these tremendous events, both West Blue, like come on, there's got to be something. Axel Nee said, Randy, what's secret name Water? Trafalgar D. Water Law is Law's full name, and he said when he revealed it that he had a secret name, Water, and it has never been expanded upon beyond that. I like that Harold, you know, was moved enough to not attack rocks. So then he's such a sav that he just blows up Harold's ship anyway. I feel like it's justified because it's just like, hey, like, come help me save my son. This man was like, nah, buddy, you're on your own. I'm sure this has been talked about, you know, I mean, we've talked about it before, but like seeing Teach as a baby makes it even more likely that we're going to see baby Buggy here on God Valley, and that he's going to be a Davy, because they have the same eyes. Like, it's a very particular way that Oda draws the eyes, with the three little eyelashes on the bottom. Crushnaut said slave ship equals wind grandma. They look very similar. Really? I mean, I think it would be cool if Dragon did take a marine warship and then like outfit it into a pirate ship. Like he just steals a warship and then turns it into a pirate ship. Well, not a pirate ship, but like his own revolutionary vessel. That's kind of cool. Jody List said water was never a secret name. That's a Japanese comprehension and mistranslation error. That's never been what the Japanese version said. Really? Why was it such a big deal that he hides the fact that he has water in his name along with D? Saeed said the term could be used either. The term used could either mean real name or, if translation, literally a taboo name. It's a term used for a posthumous name. I mean, it kind of feels similar to this whole Davy thing. Regardless. Adamus said Perona has the same thing going. True. Yeah, Perona's got the same eyes. Which is even more of a reason for Moria to be involved here. It means the Perona could be a Davy. Alejandro Salas said, Randy, there's a theory that Captain John got blamed for the kidnapping of Shaky and got killed by all of Pirate Island. I haven't seen any context in the story that tells me that. I mean, I like the idea of Wong Zhu, like, creating a scapegoat. putting the blame on somebody else, and then suddenly he gets to survive another day because of that. But Leonard Martin said, Buggy could be a Davy, but I don't think he's from God Valley. He was born in the Grand Line, not the West Blue. At this point, I'm not going to treat anything from a Viver card or, like, extended material as canon anymore until I see it in the story. Like, I feel like... I don't remember the thing that was specifically contradicting, like, Dragon not being at God Valley that everybody used to bring up to me when I said that he would have to be at God Valley. I just remember the slew of comments like Dragon wouldn't be there because of XXX, like, you know, whatever this SBS thing was, or Viver card or something. You know, he didn't join the Marines until blah blah blah, or I don't remember what it was. But Magmortar said, so Vivi's not a Straw Hat? Of course she is. Put you on game. See this scene here? This thing? This symbol on our left arms is the sign that we are Nakama, that we are crewmates. This is the moment that Vivi became an official Straw Hat. She's a Straw Hat. Next time that we meet, will you still consider me part of your crew? Consider me Nakama. She's a Straw Hat. Regardless of your cards, everything. Captain John got killed by his crew. That is part of his lore, isn't it? Yeah. We'll see. I lost it, but somebody said, is that Moria on page 6? And honestly, this mom with 2 kids, I feel like Oda would point it out a little more, but looks like it could be. And the interesting thing about it is that that kid has the same eyes as Teach and Buggy and Rox and Perona, which may be an indicator of somebody from the Davy clan. Now, Moria does not have the buggy eyes. At least not in a lot of the images that I'm looking at. we'll see how things go. It's interesting. It's a good thing to call out. We'll find out. All right. I think I'm gonna start winding down here. What a chapter. It's crazy. Aggie CEO said people that don't see Vivi as a straw hat and not just an honorary one or something are in denial. Yeah, I mean, and also the newspaper bringing back the X in particular. It's there. Adam has said chances we get Nami lore soon. Well, pretty sure it was Mr. Bushido in the Discord mentioned that the year that Nami, that Belmir found Nami on Oikot lines up timeline-wise with when a Celestial Dragon manhunt would have occurred. And I liked that idea. That Belmir showed up for the aftermath of a manhunt and rescued Nami from that. Shanks was found in a chest. How did he get there? I think that's going to be Dragon's story. Dragon is going to be responsible for getting Shanks in the chest. But he's not going to have enough time, or he's going to get interrupted or stopped or attacked before he can save Shamrock. So it's going to be Sophie's Choice, One Piece version, One Piece edition. Shin said if Dragon is the one putting Shanks in the chest, he probably is seeing Ginny, Ivankov, and Kuma there too. I actually would like if Ginny, Ivankov, and Kuma see Dragon make this epic stand against higher-ups or whatever, but he doesn't actually interact with them. But they get inspired by whatever he does, which is why later on when they actually have a chance to talk with him somewhere else, they team up with him then. Is the Shanks in a chest info from Film Red? Yes, which is canon, and it was in the volume, what was it, 4 billion or something, which was drawn by Oda, and you see the panel of Roger, Rayleigh, and the rest, and they are sailing away from Ga Valley, and they open the chest. So we've seen how God Valley ends, and like who from the Roger Pirates survived, and all that. But the crazy thing about it is that, and this is another reason why, that we can't rely on a lot of stuff, is that in volume 4 billion, Roger has a mustache. And as we can see here, he does not have a mustache. So unless he grows his mustache over the course of the fight, Because we've already seen him also land at God Valley without a mustache. Then we're going to get this all redrawn anyway. I'm not a believer of the one afternoon mustache. Nah, that's a little... it's... The one afternoon mustache is as hard to believe as the 20-month pregnancy. It's actually, that's savage. Imagine if Roger Pirates found both Shanks and Shamrock in the chest. We're like, nah, one's more than enough. We don't need two. They look the same anyway, and threw Shamrock overboard. Nah. That's something that bothers me about the whole dragon reveal anyway. Chin just said, I also think Dragon registered his name under a different name as a Marine because nobody knows he's Garpstone. Like, Monkey D. Garp. Monkey D. Dragon. And you're trying to hide your... What are we doing here? Because even then, Dragon's the most wanted man at the world at that reverie during the drum flashback, you know, and all that. You're not calling him Monkey D. Dragon. Obviously, because Oda's trying to hide it. But they're also acting like they have no idea who this guy is. They have no information on him. They don't even know he was a Marine at this point. Makes it seem like the world puts this together once Luffy is, you know, active after Eni's lobby. What's up with the world's intel? At this point, we're going to need something showing that, like, some of the higher-ups are trying to, like, actively block it. Like, that, I think that's the only way Oda's going to be able to explain it. Like, the way that the Gorosei didn't want the D printed on Gold Roger's wanted poster and wanted it removed from Luffy's poster. Saeed said the reason Harold removed his horns was revealed by Road in 1137. The same chapter was brought up. According to Road's knowledge, it was because it brings bad memories of the era of war. Yeah, I've been seeing people bring up the Harold's horns thing. I don't care about Harold's horns. I don't even really care about Harold. Like, I think I said it in this chat, Harold sucks. Oda has not made me like Harold. But Harold has been a great tool to make Zebek more interesting. But I don't know. How many times do you have to be told, like, hey, these guys are bad. They like, what are you? Who are you even trying to impress? And then he's just like, following that Dressrosa Bellamy logic of, I don't care, I just want Senpai to notice me. But I'm using the same logic to say that Harold sucks, but meanwhile Bellamy is like one of my top 3 favorite characters. But you know what is, but Bellamy had more of a, like, an arc to get there. Bellamy's a better character. But Oda was able to spend more time and develop him. And there's obviously going to be a moment later on where Bellamy's going to, like, fully commit to being good. Like, whatever Harold didn't do here, I feel like Bellamy is going to do. Like, Bellamy will show up to the final war and help Luffy, whereas Harold probably just going to continue sucking. I don't know. Cold Zero said that's so different from other people's opinions. What do you mean? What are people who are like, Harold is the coolest? I don't know. Whoever likes Harold probably likes Odin. I don't really like Odin. He's a fool of a lord. Yep. I liked when we were first introduced to Harold. But it's like, ever since Zebek came into the story, Harold got nerfed in his own flashback. Because there's just so much of, like, Rock saying, hey, man. And it's the Odin problem. It's the Odin problem. Like, save your people. Save your people. And Odin's like, Roger. I gotta be with Roger. And kind of like a little bit of the Roger problem here too. It's like Shaky. And it's like Rox just keeps trying to talk sense to Harold, and he just like at every scene is him not getting it. So the only thing that's going to make Harold a little more interesting to me is if there's a scene where he gets it. So I hope we do get that. Like, where he's like, this is what Rox was trying to tell me. World government sucks. And, like, he turns against them. I hope that's the case. Do I still think that most of Shaggy could be Ida? I don't think I ever said that I thought that Shaggy could be Ida. And I don't necessarily know if I like that being the case. Considering that Loki said he never saw or met Mosa, he's seen Ida multiple times at this point. Yeah, I don't want Shaggy to be Ida. I want Mosa to be like a dude. I don't actually have a take on who I want Mosa to be. I remember saying that I wanted it to be someone that was like introduced in the flashback. Because I thought that it would be a little weird if it was a character that's already been shown to us in the story, just the way it was presented. So it would have to be someone new, but just tied to his own individual past. And maybe someone that we haven't even seen yet. So, I don't know. Zach, she said, I see Harold like King Cobra. He's trying to do the best for his people. All the current past kings are paving the road to hell with good intentions. But Cobra was great though. Like, he was blind to what Crocodile was doing, which I don't know. I think makes Crocodile better. That he was able to fool, you know, the Alabasta Kingdom and Cobra and everything. But Cobra went out with a blaze of glory. He was dumb. like, you know, he's just like, oh man, I'm never leaving this room. I was just like, yeah, dummy. What'd you think was gonna happen? But at least he did it. Like, he pushed his seat away. He stood up. He was just like, I'm here. I'm here. I need that from Harold. And some people would argue that Odin did that too, but he did it too late. Adamus, Roger, Divine Departure. Well, if we're talking about the mustache, we need the Divine Arrival. Like, that's going to be his ultimate attack. It's going to be like, Divine Arrival! And then, like, poof. Ready for the end of God Valley. 4 billion was canon the whole time. Cold Zero said, as far as Bellamy goes, I think the Jolly Roger making thing is actually such a great choice. Flags represent a crew's dreams, so it honestly shows how much he's grown. Look, I don't know, I probably have the largest collection of Bellamy merch on the planet, because there's not much, and I think I have all of it. I really like Bellamy as a character, and I think Oda's done a great job with developing him, and I do hope that he follows through with like the third act of just showing that people can change. What if Ida is Toki? Ida and Toki look nothing alike. And also, Ida's a giant. I don't know about that one, buddy. Jody List said there's a concept in traditional Japanese arts of storytelling, Shogaku, which is something that we saw throughout Wano, because we had chapters individually named for each of those parts. Beginning, break, rapid, humble beginning, slow build up, rapid climax, and end. Where are we? As far as like the overall of One Piece, like we should be in the queue. Final Saga. We're wrapping things up. And Oda, by giving us God Valley, is saying that he's ready to wrap things up. Because after this flashback is over, and once we know everything that happened in God Valley, we can then go subsequently to every other character in the story, and they can stop hiding everything that they've been not saying the entire series. And they're just going to say the things that need to be said. That's going to end up getting us to the end. Oh, is Mosa Toki? She arrived in the future after escaping fire. I don't see why Toki wouldn't have tried to get back to Wano to see her children, though. That's my thing. Unless she was going to Elbaf and trying to convince them to take down Kaido, and then in the meantime just learn that Kaido was taken down by Luffy. And it's like, oh, the prophecy. All right. All right. I'm gonna end here in like a minute or two, guys. Last thoughts. Throw them in the chat here. Make sure that you like the stream if you haven't already. This is a great chapter. My predictions for the next chapter are, obviously we're going to continue the day of God Valley. We're going to get a little bit more into the intricacies of what we saw in 1096. We may see the arrival of at least Saturn, because we know that he was there. We don't know if the rest of them were. But I do think that eventually they'll probably all appear like they did in Egghead, creating this, chaos. It would be nice to find out, like, what is in each treasure chest. I don't know if we'll get that next chapter, but that's just me spitballing on something I'd like to know. Like, which fruits actually work here, and are there any that are in the chests that we've never seen? Which could be interesting. We're definitely going to start the game, and we're going to actively see, like, it's going to be brutal. We're going to see some slaughtering happening. My big prediction is that we're going to get some reveals on who some of these Davies are, and a lot of it is going to be, like, game-breaking for the community, I think. Because the next chapter is Oda's opportunity to, like, take advantage of his timeline and show us different characters. Moria's in play, Crocodile's in play, Mihawk's in play, Hiruluk's in play, Kureha's in play. Not necessarily to be Davies, but to be, like, they're alive. Like, if you wanted to make this, like, this big event and show that Luffy's been moving through this world and, like, meeting different characters that had something to do with this day, like, there's a lot of characters that could be here. And it's not going to be all of them, but it's like, we're going to see some characters that's going to be like, well, they were this age at this time, so they could be here. Are there some individuals from Mads here? Will there be something that ties to Ohara? Is Clover here? You know? Could we see that, like, Clover and his archaeology team just so happened to be on God Valley on the day of all of this, and they're, like, investigating a poneglyph and, like, doing, some research and get caught up in all of this, furthering their cause, right? Because we know that Dragon has a connection to Clover. Like, how did Dragon meet Clover? Could he have met Clover here at God Valley? We know that Nico Olvia is also 17 years old. Do we see Nico Olvia in chapter 1159? I don't know. Do we see a little baby with split hair? And that's Foxy. Sakshi said, yes, please, Oda. We're 1,000 chapters deep to do this. A certain man in a certain place said that game. I'm tired of it. I need answers. Yeah. It's... After this, all bets are off. So, get ready for the end, guys. The Galala Giants, potentially. Especially considering that the next chapter will be 500 chapters from when we saw them frozen in ice. Exactly 500 chapters from them frozen in ice in Punk Hazard. Maybe Doflamingo, maybe. Since Big Mom specifically said that some of those fruits could be for her kids, Katakuri's fruit in particular is probably among them. Jin Zhao showing up? Maybe. I could see Jin Zhao having a thing for Shaky, especially considering that Sai's whole journey was about getting married in the first place. What about Hiralook? Any theories on the soccer belt? Hey, look, I've said that Hiralook should be a part of God Valley. Like, he was a thief. Ginny just told the entire world that all of this stuff is here. The great robber Hiralook is going to sit this out? No. I want everything that Hiralook told Chopper about pirates to be because he witnessed this event and saw pirates win, saw the hockey, saw the voices that tear the sky asunder. I don't need Hiralook to get involved in all the fighting. I don't need Hiralook to secretly have been a top tier like combatant. I just need him to be like in the rafters, like looking and being like, I just wanted to rob some stuff. This is crazy. Katakuri already had his devil fruit. He ate it when he was 5 years old. I either forgot that bit of lore or didn't read that part. I don't think that was that in the canon, or was that in like extended media, like in his Beaver card or something. Peter said also he returned to Drum the year after God Valley. Yeah, come on. Show my guy. That's my guy. It was in his Beaver card. Yeah, alright. Pudding's fruit? That's interesting. I mean, that is one of my favorite fruit. It actually is my favorite fruit. I love that. Hiralook stole and kept Chopper. That would be hilarious if one of the fruits he stole was Chopper's fruit, but then he like lost it in the woods, and then, you know, 20, 30 something years later, Chopper eats it. Eat this 20 or 38-year-old fruit. Well, it wouldn't be 38 years old, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't think a lot of the fruits are going to have been sat on for 20 years. It's going to be people that are active now. And if we see a fruit, it may be like that we know now, it may be because like it went through a different life cycle. Like something interesting would be like if Captain John eats a fruit, right? And it's a fruit that we know that somebody else has. But we know John died, so it's like could be cool. Anyway, this is awesome. Those are just a few of my predictions. At this point, especially with the last cover page from the previous chapter with everything with Moria, like that's my like number one person that I want to see on God Valley now. I want to see Moria. I think we'll definitely see Buggy because he's got the Davy eyes, and Hiralook is like my off-the-wall fun pick. And then Crush sent me an image side by side, the Wind Grandma and that battleship. It is interesting. It does look like he just retrofitted a Marine warship. I like that. So that prisoner ship is probably the same one. And that's why we're seeing it. So maybe Dragon steals the ship at the end of God Valley with Ivankov and Ginny. Well, not Ginny. With Ivankov. Because Ginny goes with Kuma. And then the whatever slaves that he takes from God Valley become the original freedom fighters. He becomes a Marine deserter. And then he just puts this dragon on the thing and takes the Marine. Yeah, I like that. That's a cool origin for all of it. If that happens, that's all you, Crush. Unless you pulled that from Twitter or something, but Discord or something. I don't know, but it's a good catch. Yeah, I know Mori is 12, but I don't know. I need it. I'd like for him to have gone to Wano because of this event. Crush said, "No, I got that when you said the prison ship looks cool." Second read through. Oh yeah. It's a good catch. I think you're onto something. I said, I don't know if others are talking about it. I posted it to Reddit. Hey, get your flowers. All right. That's it, guys. I will see everybody for 11:60 on Sunday. All right. Appreciate everybody coming through. What a chapter. It's God Valley, baby. Crazy. It's just crazy to be here. It's just crazy to be here. Right. I think next week is going to be even crazier because it's going to be actual God Valley. I don't know. We're here, guys. We're here. This is it. It's crazy.
It's about to get spicy.
Okay. Later, everybody.
I've been swimming deep, deep. Savage.